Yo, I'm Sickfishsticks and thanks for clicking on my video. It's been a while since we've done a free games this week video, so I thought I would slap one together as there are a few games up for grabs this week. And we're starting off rough today, boys and girls. Let me give you the quote of the day first. A video game is like a fart. If you're trying too hard, it's probably shit. And with that, our first game, Daymare 1998. A game that wanted to be heavily inspired by the earlier Resident Evil games. It was set to give a new take on the cinematic zombie survival formula with more modern graphics and over-the-shoulder third-person gameplay. However, it controls just as good as my grandmother on ice, and she's like 84. The difficulty is all over the place, the character designs are atrocious, and I'd rather sleep on a sandpaper pillow to be honest with you. It's simply not fun to play. Sadly, it doesn't break the so good it's bad part of my mind either. You know, not all games are made for everyone, and this one I think is made specifically for Resident Evil lovers who are needing an itch to scratch. It's free, and free games are always appreciated, so you should give it a go and let me know if you agree with my review of the game. It's currently on GOG for the next few days, so head on over there and enjoy. Or not. The Epic Store wants to end this year with a bang and are throwing 4 games at your face this week. Well, 2 pre-January 5th and 2 post-January 5th. And boy are these some juicy games. Oh, and before we get too deep into this, my condolences to the Epic employee who released Death Stranding Director's Cut instead of the normal version of the game. He's most likely lining up at the unemployment office as we speak. Stay strong, homie. I think 4.5 people managed to get the director's cut version, and for those it was definitely worth it. Anyway, firstly, Dishonored Definitive Edition, which isn't really a definitive edition as such. We can't look left or right nowadays without seeing definitive edition of this or definitive edition of that popping up everywhere. The idea of this now overly used sales concept is to take an existing game and release it on a next-gen console, while adding old DLC and bumping the frame rates to 60 without changing much else. In fairness, it's not only this game, Devil May Cry, Borderlands and Darksides are all guilty of this lazy trend. Looking at Dishonored Definitive Edition today, there are elements of the design that haven't aged gracefully, such as the somewhat quirky controls. But the gameplay is still a liberating experience as it's truly based on your personal choices. It's entirely up to you whether you wanna cut a bloody sword through the world or complete all the missions without a single kill. This may not be a true definitive edition, but the good news is it has the greatest strength of Dishonored and it still shines through today. I assume a majority of you bad boys have played the Dishonored franchise in one version or another, and you most likely had a good time playing it. So I would suggest you take your juicy booty over to the Epic Store and send Dishonored Definitive Edition to your library for later enjoyment. Next up, we have Eximius Seize the Frontier, which is a FPS RTS hybrid that focuses on squad-based combat. The game features an intense 5 vs 5 multiplayer experience with each team consisting of 4 squad officers and 1 commander, who in my case has been this 59-year-old dude with a god complex. Not a lot of games are good at pulling off a multi-genre game, but I think the FPS RTS combo of Eximius is executed fairly well. It doesn't feel like an FPS with some RTS or vice versa. It feels like a FPS RTS, and for that, good job. There seems to have been a bit of drama behind the scenes. From what I understand of the situation, the devs went through hell and then some thanks to some disgraceful publisher who intended to drag the developers through every pile of vomit they could find. It's admirable that they didn't just back up and say arrivederci, because I can imagine morale would have been very low after an episode like that. But they stuck through it and here we are. I think you should at least get the game and take it for a spin, just as a way to show support to the developers and maybe you might find it enjoyable. It's up for grabs until January 5th. From January 5th, 2 more games will be free. Kerbal Space Program and Shadow Tactics Aikos Choice. Both are amazing games and both are games you should get. I gave Kerbal Space Program my world famous Sickfishsticks seal of approval. It's an amazingly fun game that allows your creativity to flow freely from every hole in your body. The amazing creations that you can build and feeling of accomplishment when you finally get your creation airborne and into space is amazing. Plus, you'll be learning so much about space, propulsion, gravity, how heavy your juicy booty is, and how close to Earth you need to eject that booty for the highest level of survivability. My god, am I delivering some high quality gaming Really? Now I need to get a message? God damn it. I bought all the Kerbal Space Program games and boot them up every now and then. Even me, someone who bought the games at full retail, isn't mad that it's free. On the contrary, I think a lot of people are going to be smiling and having a good time on January 5th. Anyway, get this game and don't fuck this one up. Shadow Tactics Aikos Choice is a brand new standalone to the beloved tactics game Shadow Tactics. Set in Japan around the Edo period, you take control of Aiko and her deadly assassin homies to hunt down the bad guys and something about ghosts of her past. This is a pure stealth-based game, so don't come in here thinking to go all Bruce Lee on everyone. You need to take your time and use brain power rather than brawn power. If you want more Shadow Tactics, you'll get more Shadow Tactics, as simple as that. Just keep in mind that it's simply 3 fleshed out missions as well as 2 very short ones, fairly simple. But I'm happy to see it served to us for free. This brings us to the end of the video, but it also brings us to the end of my 1-year journey on YouTube, and what a crazy journey it's been. Who would have thought a year ago I had 1 subscriber being my wife who barely watched my shit, to now having 1500 and something engaging people who are fun and make this a cool journey. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you for taking the time to watch my shit. Commenting, subscribing, liking, it's really made a difference. So thanks. So let's end this as we usually do. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, subscribe if you haven't, like why not. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope and wish you only the best for 2023, and I'll see you on the other side. Peace.